What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Narcissists Code. I'm your favorite self-aware narcissist, Mr. Lee Hammock, better known as Mental Healness across all social media platforms. If this is your first time seeing my face or hearing my voice, I'm a diagnosed narcissist, and I use my platform all over social media to raise awareness for NPD, get more people into therapy, and also validate the victims, survivors, and the thrivers of said disorder, said traits, said toxic behaviors, and toxic people and whatnot. Today's episode is going to be entitled Narcissists do not care about wasting your time. So let's go and get this out of the way first, y'all. Time, T-I-M-E, is your most important resource. It just is. It's what it is. It's non-renewable. It's like a it's non-renewable resource. It's like, fossil fuel. Time is your fossil fuel. You cannot renew it, and you have a limited amount of it right there. So I tell this to people to let you know that, like, if you're dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person, y'all been on and off for an extended period of time. Like, it just goes back and forth, on and off, up and down, left, right, left, down, up, right. It's like you playing Sega. Like you playing Sega Genesis trying to put a code into Mortal Kombat. A, B, A, C, A, B, B. Oof, I remember that code. I do not know why I remember that code from Mortal Kombat. A, B, A, C, A, B, B. It's been stuck in my head forever. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. But when you're dealing with narcissists and toxic people, you have to understand that this is part of it right here, y'all. Like, they don't care about wasting your time as long as they are getting their needs met. As long as they are getting what they want from you or from whoever they're dealing with. They don't care about wasting your time. So when you say things like, well, 3 years down the drain, they don't think it's 3 years down the drain. They think it's 3 years they spent getting whatever they wanted to do from you, and they move on to somebody else. You, on the other hand, are left kind of healing in the wake, picking up the pieces and things like that. That's why I just tell people, when the red flags start to fly, you might want to go away. You might want to make this, you might want to make your exit out of this relationship, because if you don't, I promise you, you're going to end up regretting it. This is one of those things that I can guarantee you is going to end up happening, because, like, typically when you stay in this relationship long term, you're going to end up regretting what is going on. You just are, and it's pouring down rain outside. I don't know if y'all can hear the little drip, 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 drip. If you do, ignore it. But you're going to end up losing yourself. You're going to end up losing. I'm just telling y'all, they don't care about wasting your time. They don't. You can't, and like I said, you can't get it back. And a lot of times, the longer you stay in these relationships, the more you feel compelled to stay in the relationship. Because you've been in there for 5 years, you don't want to throw 5 years away. Because you've been in there for 10 years, you don't want to throw 10 years away. I met a woman very recently, y'all, who just started learning about narcissistic relationship, narcissistic abuse, toxic abuse, whatnot. She just started learning about this very, recently, within the last year or so. Ended up leaving her marriage. 43 years. That's the longest I've heard, y'all. Somebody leaving their marriage or whatever. She said she would rather spend the rest of her life alone and happy than to give that man another second of her time, because time is not renewable. And I've talked to her a couple of times. She's a super nice woman. So if you listen to this, name starts with an M. Hey, what's going on? But 43 years, y'all. That's a long time. And did she regret being there long? No, she don't regret it now, because she got out of it. Because she didn't know. You don't know what you don't know, but you know. That's what I say. If you're in a relationship for 43 days and the red flags are starting to fly, they've been becoming emotionally distant. They've been lying to you. They already cheated on you somehow in 43 days. They done gaslit you. They done did something. The red flags are flying 43 days in. Time to go, y'all. Why would y'all stop giving people so many chances, so much of your time? And yeah, they will weaponize that time contingent I was telling you about earlier. How you don't want to throw the relationship away because it's been 5 years, because you've already got 10 years invested in it. You don't want to just walk away from it. They'll use that against you. I hope you know that, right? The same thing, they'll say the same thing to you. Well, they done cheated on you, they done beat your ass, they done did a lot of different stuff to you. So you get to the point where you're just like, you know what? You ready to leave, and they say the same thing that you wanted to say. We got 10 years. First, they gotta work themselves up into a tizzy first. They're like, do that little breathing exercise, like do some ohms, manipulation. They do their little yoga ohms. They get in child's pose and they manipulate the hell out of you with your own words. We got 10, you throw away 10 years? 10 years. 3,650 days. That's a long time. You done had my heart and you gonna walk away. And y'all, of course, y'all got the empathy. Y'all got the empathy. You feel what they're saying. Y'all go back into it. And you waste another year. Now that's 11 years. And then y'all break up the next year. So you gave them an extra years. I don't think so. This is my personal perspective on this. I know a lot of people think you waste time in these types of relationships. I said it earlier. But to me, it's not a waste unless you know what you're going through. Like every second after you understand what you're going through and understand that it won't get better, and this is who they're going to be, then it becomes a waste. If you to me, after you understand it, after you get the knowledge, then it becomes a waste. You just like, you know what, this person was been like, I don't know, I can't put a name to it. Then you start learning about narcissism. Then you start learning about toxic relationships and things like that. Then you have a name for what you went through, and then you have the ability to leave, to dip out and stuff like that. You know, you have the knowledge base to make a conscientious decision, because back then you just thought this was normal. You thought this was normal relationship behavior, especially if you got into this relationship and you didn't have a lot of relationship experience to go with it. You know what I mean? So you just thought it was normal relationship behavior. You thought it was normal stuff, but now you know. So it's not a waste of time. But now every second after you know, if you end up leaving, then this becomes a waste of time. That's how my mind works, y'all. Because I don't like people feeling bad for like, I wasted 43 years. I wasted 40 years. That's a long time, y'all. I don't think you wasted time unless you know what you're going through. You know what I mean? That's what I should say. You have to empower yourself, because that narcissist or that toxic person that you're dealing with does not care, y'all. Your time is not valuable to them. Your time just is not valuable to that narcissistic person unless you're trying to spend it with somebody else. When you're trying to spend that time with somebody else, or they think you're trying to spend that time with somebody else, that's when you become valuable to them. You see what I'm saying? That's when you become valuable to them, when you start spending your time with someone else, or they think you're, oh, I don't want to spend time with you. I miss you so much. Blah 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 blah. Boo 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 beep beep beep. Please come back to me. I'm sorry. And blah. Yeah. I done heard it all. I can't live without you. I'm gonna unalive myself. It's gonna be your fault because you didn't give me another chance. You didn't give me an extra year. Give me time. And look, the crazy thing about it is, narcissistic people will always ask you. Well, not always. A lot of times they will ask you for more time. They won't put a timetable on it. They won't put a time limit on it or anything like that. But they will ask you for more time. They will ask you for time to grow up. You got to give me time to grow up. You got to give me time to become a man. You got to give me time to become a woman. You got to give me time to become a person. You got to give me. They will always ask you for more time, but they don't put a specific limit on it or whatever. They're just like, give me more time, please. I need time. They'll ask you for the time, but they won't give you a timetable. They won't give you a time, like how much time they need. No, it's never a specific amount. Sorry, I heard that ambulance coming. But it's never a specific amount. They'll ask you for more time. They'll ask you for more of the most precious resource that you have, y'all. They'll lie to you, cheat on you, manipulate you. They'll ask you for more time, and then they'll leave you for somebody else. This happens so much, y'all. I see it's happened so much. Y'all get in so many chances, and then they leave you for somebody else, and then they leave you broken, picking up the pieces of this toxic relationship dynamic or whatnot. That's what I tell people, y'all. Do not give them the ability to waste your time. It's your most precious resource, and you can't get it back. You can't. And so one of the most common statements that I hear when I'm dealing with when I'm talking to people over Zoom and stuff like that, is the relationship was on and off. I hear that statement so much, y'all. On and off for X amount of years. I think the longest I've heard was on and off for like 17 years. Like they would take a year break between breakups or whatever. They would be dating somebody else and somehow they'll come back together. On and off for 17 years. And now in the end, he ended up with somebody else. And he was a narcissist person. Yeah, women can be narcissists too, y'all. But like, he ended up with somebody else. And she's heartbroken. She's like, I just thought we would always end up together. Because he always told me, no matter how much we fall apart, we'll come back together. And now he ended up with somebody else. And he got a baby on the way. And she's super sad. And she feel like she wasted time. She feel like, I think she went from 18, I think she's like 35, 36 years old now. So she still has time to have a family dynamic, whatever. You know, but she feel like she wasted so much time giving this person so much of her life that she can't get that time back because the on and off stuff like that. If it's on and off, let it stay off. if it's an on and off relationship, let it stay off. Please, just for your sake, for your time and things like that, y'all. But anyways, y'all, all right, 16 seconds left. So, If you haven't, you see it. I got the brand is on today. The I Love Me brand. This is the I'm free shirt right here. I'm free of stress. I'm free of whatever you're free of. You know what I mean? Also got some other things in the works. Next meetup is underway. Is it gonna be in LA or New York? Los Angeles or New York City coming soon, y'all. So sometime next year. Like and subscribe for more. And as always, mental illness is out. Peace.